Hello, you lovely people. Welcome back to this, what day is it? Thursday. It's Thursday evening actually, because you'll be able to hear the insects. And this topic is going to be about, it's going to be about a comment I got from a subscriber maybe. I don't think it was a subscriber, but I think it was certainly someone who was speaking the truth, to be honest with you. And it made me stop and think. And it's about, he said, stop giving advice on your channel. And in a way, he's quite right. Meaning, the things that I say, and a lot of vloggers around the world, but mainly in the Philippines, there are many vloggers who say, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. And to be honest with you, we are not really qualified to give advice, are we? Just because we live here and we've had experiences here doesn't mean to say we are qualified to give advice. And I mean that in a way of some of the things I talk about. Some of it is advice and some of it is just my living experience here in the Philippines. And I've also had subscribers saying, oh, I wouldn't live there, because of what you've said. Now, my experiences and the turmoils that I've had with family issues and stuff, you might not get that. So it's not really an advice, it's just my life experiences of living in the Philippines. But I get what you mean, meaning we shouldn't be giving advice. For an example, relationships, advice on that. Now, my opinion, my experience, because I've had relationships here and I've had relationships in my own country. Again, this is debatable, but for me, I think a Filipino lady who you are with is much easier to have a relationship here than in your own country, because, and you are going to be, this is definitely going to be questionable, but for my experience, Filipinas, my Filipina, or my wife, she doesn't belong to me, it's just my wife, is much less demanding than Western women. Demanding as in, I want this, I want that. My wife doesn't do that. She doesn't go around the shops and saying, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, or I want you to buy that. She's never done that. Maybe she said a couple of times, maybe we could do with that, and it's been the truth. It hasn't been something that has been unnecessary. It's something that perhaps we did need. But again, it's going to be debatable, because many of you might say, well, my partner is much more demanding than my Western experiences with relationships. But in my experience, it's not advice. It's just what I've experienced. And I would say Filipinas are less demanding and are easier to have relationships with, because they are much more forgiving. The only problem I have sometimes is miscommunication with my wife. I might say something and my wife might take it literally differently. But because we've been together for a long time, we are getting to know each other's differences and the way I word things and the way she interprets it, and vice versa. I never understand fully and she'll never understand me fully. That's the difference. But it's not advice. It's not advice. And I think that when us vloggers do try and give advice, it's probably the wrong thing to do. So this person who he left a comment, I think he's right. Stop giving advice. But I think it's good to put it out there, the experiences that I have. What other vloggers have, that's up to them. But when I say you need patience, so you've got to have patience, well, that is advice. And that is truthful advice to live here. You do need patience. You do. And you need to be prepared to go to many different departments to get one thing issued to you. Okay? Now, when I spoke about visas a while back, saying that, in my opinion, the Philippines is the easiest visa system that I've ever encountered. Even getting a 13A visa, which we had to, go through the legal channels, which is quite rightly so. And we had to have a couple of interviews, one with the probationary and one with the permanent. It was painless, really. The only thing was the interview, which was a bit nerve-wracking, but I think the interviews in other countries, getting a 13A or whatever you're getting in those countries to get a permanent residence, will probably be a damn sight harder than what it was for us. Like I said in different videos, family issues. Well, again, it's only my experience with the family that I have. And you might not have that, which a lot of you have said that, we don't have that problem because we set the rules and the boundaries down from day one. Brilliant. Exactly. It's not advice, it's just my experiences. The advice that I have given in the past is don't get yourself into trouble. Now, I think that's good advice. And I know it's common sense. People might say, well, that's just common sense, Stephen. It is common sense, but some people come here thinking that the Philippines is a developing country. Some say a third world. I don't know about that, but it's definitely a developing country. And they just think that they can get away with anything because they think the police don't care. They haven't got like an infrastructure there where they've got computers. Well, they have. They have, and they take it very seriously when a foreigner commits a crime here. And yes, foreigners commit a very, 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 very small percentage of crime here compared to the citizens of the country. But because we are foreigners, it's highlighted. So it's there on the news. Many Filipinos may commit crimes and it doesn't even make the news. Well, that's how it is. That's how it is. And I've had some people say, don't keep saying things like that. Well, I'm only saying, like with Pro-Life Traveller, Vitali and that other dickhead who was with the HIV, I'm only highlighting them things. Now, you probably already know these things, but some of you might not. So, the advice that I would give you on things like that is, because of what's happened to them, don't do what they did. Because that's the example of what will happen to you. Another piece of advice is don't really piss off your girlfriend. If you're going to split up with your girlfriend, try and do it as amicably as you possibly can, and don't start flaunting your new girlfriend in front of your ex-girlfriend, because it's not going to end well. Like it did in a previous video I did with my American friend, who his ex-partner made up allegations, and he got him arrested and he got him put in clink for quite some time, and he got him deported in the end, and now he's back in America. So again, that's probably not going to happen to you, but I'm just saying what I know what happened, so I'm just passing that on to you people. Okay, whether you interpreted that as every Filipino is going to do, every Filipino they are going to do the same, well, you're putting yourself in a situation where it's possible, isn't it? So just don't do things like that. I'm not an expert. None of us vloggers are experts in giving advice about doing this, doing that. We only speak, me personally, of my experiences, of me being here for 8 years. And on the whole, I love it here. I do. There are some times when I think, what am I doing here? But that is only a very, very, very short time I think things like that. And it's normally with things like the bureaucracy of trying to get things done. Right now, I was very surprised last week, I think it was last week or the week before, when I went to do my annual report, and I was dreading getting on a bus. I could drive my car down there, but I'd rather sit on a bus, to be honest with you, and just, go on my phone and listen to some music and just relax for the journey, which I still didn't like doing. I've done it for the last couple of years, going to Osamis. And It's about 3.5 hours away from here. Stop, start, stop, start. The bus system, you know. But I was very impressed with how they have sorted out this online annual report. And it was painless. Absolutely painless. So the Philippines is coming up, people. It's not going to go backwards. It's going to come up. And yes, it's going to take a long time because of how it is here, but it is coming up. And for people to come here thinking you can do this, you can do that, they're not stupid at all. They are not. And what's good, listen, we are in their country, right? I know they should be different in England, which many of my people have said. It's a shame they don't have those same laws in England, and I totally agree with you. The English should have the laws mainly for their citizens, but they don't in England. It's arse about face. Here, it's as it should be. They have their laws set for the citizens, and many of us expats, if you want to call us that, or immigrants, whatever you want to call us, who are here, some of us don't like that, but this is how it should be. You know, the law is here to protect the citizens of that country. And let's just say this, right? Now, let's just say you wanted a piss, right? And you're out in the street. Now, you people who are here, you've seen this all the time. A Filipino could go and relieve himself having a piss in the street, right? No one bats an eyelid. You might do that as a foreigner. Someone or the police could drive past, and they might. I'm not saying they would, but they could, possibly charge you for that, give you a violation or something. But a Filipino, they wouldn't. Now, you saying, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Well, it's their country. They can do whatever the hell they want. And a lot of you say about property here. And there are many, many, many vlogs on buying property and the pitfalls of it. That is good advice, because the people who have done it, me included, with this place here, we was promised this when we bought the land, that the titles were good. Well, it was a portion of a mother title. Now that is nothing. So we bought it in good faith, a portion of the mother title, but we didn't get a clean title. So we had to do that out of our own pocket. It's done now, but it took 2 years. So I would suggest anyone who is planning on buying land here with their Filipino spouse or whatever is to look into that. And I would suggest going to a reputable. Don't trust a broker. Don't trust a land broker, like an estate agent, as we would call them. He was real estate, but when they say yes, everything is legal and above board, yes, the titles are clean, get it looked over. Get it looked over by a real estate lawyer, and get it looked over again by another one, and get it looked over again by another one. Make sure that what you're buying is legal and above board, because you can easily come unstuck. So the advice that I've heard of many vloggers saying about land is true, even in my experience, because I've been through it myself. And there is a very, very good agency called JRC, and they not only do visas, but they also now do land, and they got a good reputation. Now I know they're very busy, so you might email them and they might not get back to you for a day or so, but stick with them. And I'm not selling them or anything like that. I'm not getting any commission from them, but I'm saying to you because I've used them, and I've got a good reputation here. They are a little bit pricey, but hey, if you want things done properly, you got to pay for it. Same in your own country, but the difference is in our country, you can't buy anything without the paperwork being done before you hand over the money. Here is different. They will sell their grandmothers here. True. And they will sell land that doesn't even belong to them. That's happened. And the problems my wife's had with the land that she was gifted, well, not gifted, well, yeah, I suppose it was from her grandmother. Inherited is the word. The problems that she's had with that. So, advice I would give you is never buy land from family or friends, uncles and aunties of the person who you're with, because everyone will own land here. Oh, see my uncle, he's got land for sale. See my auntie. Well, Some of it could be good, some of it, but the majority of it won't be. I tell you that. I tell you that. So I do agree with the comment that I had that many vloggers shouldn't be giving out advice, but we should tell it as it is. You know, relationships here. Now, many people have had bad relationships, many people have had good relationships, but it's only their experiences, so it's not really advice, it's just their experiences. But my experience is a Filipina is much easier than a Western woman, and I mean, like, as I said earlier in the video, they're less demanding. Not all. Again, this is going to be questionable and debatable, and but it's just my experience. But anyway, that's it really, people. Just a very quick video on that, because I thought about the comment, and the comment was right. So I think some of these good vloggers that I've watched is where they travel in the Philippines. I like to watch them ones, because I think now there is a lot of channels out there trying to give advice. Some of it is good advice, some of it is just not. But I like these travel videos, and if I wasn't married and had a child, I would be doing that. But unfortunately, it's not unfortunately, but I am married and I got a child and one on the way, and I can't travel because of that reasons. It's very difficult for me to do. But there will be some videos coming up with me camping and me fishing, not in the boat, because, by the way, the boat is gone. I've got rid of it, and the reason I got rid of it is because two reasons. One, it was a distance away from where I am, and it was a bit of a burden keep travelling over there and servicing the engine, because if you don't use it, it just blocks up, the car blocks up and all that sort of stuff. And the other one was, a little while ago, there was some jiggers who went out on a proper jigging boat and they were lost at sea. And my wife said to me, Stephen, you go out on that boat when you do go out, think about it. And it's true, I've got a family here, and it only takes a rogue wave. It's all it takes. It just takes one rogue wave, and that's it, you're finished. And I like shore fishing, I like fishing under bridges, and I like fishing in little, what do you call them? We call them becks in England, they call them creeks here. Creeks, or creeks in Australia and England, America. But I like fishing all them sort of places, and fishing where there is no one else there. So that's what I'm going to be doing somewhat, and I promise you that at the end of this month I'm going to get out and I'm going to be starting to do some of this kind of fishing, because that's what I like to do. It's my hobby, and I haven't done any of my hobby for a while now, because I've been doing this house. Well, this house now is almost complete, so now I've got the time. It's freed up. I've got that time before the baby's due, and even when the baby does come along, me and my little boy, my Kaelin, will be out fishing. That's a promise. So listen, people, sorry if you think the advice that we give is the wrong advice, but for my case, it's just experiences, okay? So thank you, take good care, over and out.